What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is After the Review with Peter and Terrell. I'm your host, Peter, and with me, as always, is my man, Terrell.
Pete, how you feeling this week, man?
Well, Terrell, I just got, one thing to say.
Then gon' ask me how I'm doing. I'm upset. $500,000 on my head, I can't accept.
I'm upset, Terrell. That Vikings-Chiefs game, we've been we've kind of had a little thing going all season with it, but
We've been eyeing it for sure. It's always been circled on the calendar as it going. For you though, it's back-to-back weeks.
I know
Week,
we got the Cowboys this week, but I'm upset. I wish Pat Mahomes played in that game. It was a great football game. Oh, but my team kind of let that one get away from us, I think. We definitely should have won that game. KC seemed to make every play, but I'm upset, and I'm going to go on a little tangent here. Our head coach, Mike Zimmer, he doesn't got it. Like, I don't know what it is. I saw a stat against teams with a winning record. He's 13-26. Oh, my God. That's terrible. Like, he was completely outcoached at the end of the game by Andy Reid. Did you watch? I'm assuming you watched the game.
That's to say a lot too if you get outcoached by Andy Reid at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Andy isn't great with pressure on the line and down down the stretch type of situations. But I didn't get to watch much of the game. I was working this weekend, but it seems to be I be doing a lot more than I should be. But I didn't get to watch, but I saw some highlights. Obviously I was following it because the Chiefs were playing, and I told you last week. I said you better hope Matt Moore plays, or I said Hill's gonna get over the top. He said nah, he's not gonna get over the top. Blah blah blah. And what happened?
So he got over the top one play for 40 yards.
That's all it takes. All it takes, though.
I mean,
it changes the whole defense.
But it's typically. I mean, it really didn't. The whole game was. First of all, Minnesota's offensive line is trash can. If we give Kirk Cousins any time, he carves people up. I mean, he carved up KC no problem when we had any sort of protection. The play calling was a little conservative towards the end there. I didn't love it. We watched the film how Green Bay gashed KC with Aaron Jones coming out of the backfield, and we kind of tried to do the same thing with Dalvin Cook, and that's just not our offense. And I think
you had to know KC was going to make a change there, though, right?
Well, I know, exactly. And if we had just kind of stuck with the way we run the ball, I think we would have been fine gashing them. It did hurt. Adam Thielen practiced all week. We were expecting him to go, and he got hurt on the second play of the game. I think he re-injured his hamstring, so we kind of were a little off script there offensively. But end of the game, the defense is on the field. The defense couldn't stop Matt Moore. Casey made every play. Sammy Watkins is catching the ball like he's never caught the ball in his life before.
And that's what he got paid to do, man. Come on now. Give him some credit. He's good. Still a great receiver.
There's a reason he's on his third team or whatever, fourth team. Who knows at this point. But every play, there was some suspect officiating a little bit, couple blown quick sacks on strip sacks that maybe we could have found our way recovering the ball in the bottom of the pile. They were very quick to the whistle towards the end there.
A lot of complaining over there. A lot of complaining. Okay. That's all I hear. A lot of complaining.
But here was the game. There's 40 seconds left. Casey runs a play. The clock's rolling. We have 2 timeouts. Zimmer doesn't look like we're going to call a timeout. So it's like, all right, we're going to play it straight up. And we strip sack Matt Moore, but they blow the play dead because Zim decided to call a timeout after letting 20 seconds roll off the clock. Like, what are you doing? Just play it straight. Like, you let 20 seconds roll off, you're not getting the ball back now, and you got a sack. I mean, the whistle did not affect the play. It was like snap, sack. And then everyone was like, oh, thank God, it was a whistle. So it was just bad coaching all around. Like I said, I'm upset. We should have won that game. We let one slip by us. Hopefully this week we bring it against Dallas. Dallas didn't look great, but maybe KC's a little bit better. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
KC seems like they're a little bit better without Pat Mahomes, and hopefully that'll help them out going forward. Just not being so reliant on the passing game for Mahomes to pull it out of his ass. So when he does come back and does pull it out of his ass, it works.
I mentioned this last week, and I said I was proud of them, even though they lost to the Packers. They showed more of a complete team effort. I definitely think they did it this week. And this week they got the win. Booker, the huge kick at the end of the expiration.
Oh my God, two kicks out of his ass, and the last one got partially blocked and still goes right through the upright. It was one of those days. Sometimes you just have those days where not a single ball bounces your way.
Rather be lucky than good any day of the week.
Yep.
So I know I was very proud of them, and I was very proud of Matt Moore and what he's done in this, taking over the starting quarterback position while Mahomes has been out. It's been great. Yeah, so I like where the Chiefs have come. It seemed like they've gotten tighter with Mahomes. Everyone's like, we got to step up. We got to fill this hole. They've kind of done this. Defense kind of stepped up. They've been better. Not great still, but they've been better. So I'm very happy with the Chiefs and where they're going. I'm sorry it had to come at the expense of your Vikings, but I surely hope that they get it back next week against the Cowboys and they get this dub, because we both don't like the Cowboys, so we'll both be happy with that.
Yeah, and we'll see. Maybe Matt Moore bought Pat Mahomes a little bit more time. The Chiefs are at Tennessee next week, so if they win that game, you could maybe rest Mahomes another 3 weeks until, through the bye, rest him the week after Tennessee, and then rest him for the bye and bring him back at 110% instead of maybe pushing it a little early,
For sure.
all hands aren't overboard. But another impressive display. I called it. This was my pick. Baltimore Ravens, straight up over the Pats, and they punched them in the mouth. What'd you think of Lamar? I thought he was kind of scary good out there.
Yeah, he was really good. I kicked myself in the butt or whatever, because I didn't play him in fantasy. I was like, oh, I got the Patriots. Going against Patriots, Belichick's going to figure this out. Like, he might be able to run on everyone else, all 30 other teams in the league, but he will not be able to run over the Patriots. And sure enough, he did. He balled out, played really good. They got up early, and then once the Baltimore gets up early, they start running the ball, and it's kind of hard to get it back. They made Brady uncomfortable. They did a lot of things. So I think this Baltimore team might be for real. I mean, his defense is finally come together. What we thought it was going to be.
Finally playing some defense. I saw some interesting stats. Harbaugh is 10-2 off of the bye with Baltimore. So that's a well-coached team right there. And if you're well-coached, you can do things right. Baltimore looked prepared. I kind of expected it off of the bye. New England really hasn't faced too many teams. It's like we said earlier, Lamar Jackson's impossible to prepare for if you haven't played him. So first time seeing Bill Belichick and seeing Lamar, I expect them to be ready if they get a rematch in the playoffs, and Lamar won't be able to do as much as what he did. But good God, he's got the fastest acceleration of any person I've maybe ever seen play football. He's like Tyreek Hill fast when it comes to that first 2 steps. I mean, he literally, Kyle Van Noy had him contained on the edge, stopped, and he just ran right inside of him, just ran right by him. Like, that's an NFL defensive end, and Lamar Jackson makes him look slow, like slow. So they're rolling. They were 4 for 4 in the red zone with touchdowns. That always helps. New England doesn't give up touchdowns in the red zone ever on defense. So
that's big time.
Yes, that's the stat.
I wish the Chiefs could do that. I think everyone wish their team could do that when they get in the red zone and score touchdowns.
Especially against the Patriots, who have, I think they'd given up 1 red zone touchdown to Josh Allen. That was it all season. I mean, there was the big scoop and score off the Edelman fumble that kind of put the game, it kind of made it a little bit worse than what it actually was. So that
hurt me too in fantasy.
Yeah, of course.
I gave it a whole little week this week.
Yeah.
Carlos Hyde fumbling at the 1 yard line. Edelman getting stripped for a touchdown. Brady throwing an interception. Belichick not going for it with 10 seconds left. A QB sneak with Brady. Could have used those 6 points. Man. Bad. That game almost kind of lost me. Yeah, so it was a little rough week for me.
You should have. You know what? If you just rolled with Lamar, life would have been a lot better.
I know. Trust me, I'm not rolling with Lamar the rest of the year. So I'm gonna ride or die with him through the mud. I told myself I was gonna do that regardless, but I was like I said, the Patriots.
You chickened out. You gotta be a man. Be a man.
I know.
Roll with your boy. But it was a good week for Baltimore, DC. The Nats won the World Series. That was a fun Game 7. All 7 games won. All 7 games won by the road teams. I called that. I told you I had the weird feeling. That game kind of came down. Zach Greinke was rolling. They were up 2-0. And then Anthony Rendon dropped the bomb on him. And then he walked Juan Soto. And they decided to pull Greinke with 80 pitches. And things kind of snowballed out of control there for Houston. But
they didn't bring in Cole. I was really surprised by that. I was literally waiting for hey, bring him in, and he might be able to help us for a couple innings, but that wasn't the plan. I feel like the last couple years in the World Series,
you bring it all. It's all hands on deck, right, for a Game 7.
All hands on deck, yeah. I mean, or it's maybe Game 6 or Game 7. It's I can go win this game. Let me bring back my guy. It all started with Bumgarner against the Royals, actually, unfortunately.
And that's exactly on the 1-day rest, and he threw it's like 5 innings of shutout ball. And you said we're for sure seeing Cole. I think they said Cole has never pitched out of the bullpen except one time in the minor leagues, like forever ago. So they wanted to give him
that psyche of
they wanted to give him a clean inning. So I think he was praying to get through the 7th inning and then start Cole for the 8th. But that was the heart of the Nationals lineup right there. And then Kendricks hit wasn't a great hit ball, ripped it right down the right field line, dinked it off the pole to give him the 3-2 lead. But then you should have went to Cole just to start the 8th. Even if you're losing, you keep the game close with as good as Houston is. And then
got busted right open.
Yeah, it blew open. The Nats found it, and it kind of killed all the, that kind of demoralizes you as a team. So, but congrats on the Nats. They were the hottest team in baseball the last 2/3 of the season. Started 19-31, so just shows you never say never. The season's never over. You can find your way to work it back. And DC gets their first title, so that felt good.
That's good, yeah. It's always nice. So, congrats to the Nats. Baseball's over.
Baseball is over.
I don't think any of us are too upset about it because we got basketball and football right now.
Yeah. Oh God. Speaking of you want to go touch on some basketball right now? We can do some.
Let's go ahead. Let's go and tap on it. Let's tap on it right now. I said we should do it 2 weeks, and here we are. Let's do some overreactions.
So what do you want to talk about first? I mean, your Warriors. Your Warriors are done.
What's not an overreaction yet? Action. I didn't say they're not my Warriors. I was just saying I thought they would be okay.
You picked Steph to win the MVP and Draymond to be Defensive Player of the Year. Those were your boys.
I did. Well, I was like, they got to step up. So if they're gonna step up, they're gonna be at that caliber level. But Steph broke his hand, so I think I get a scratch for that one because that's unfortunate. That's just Draymond and D'Angelo Russell out there, so it might as well be like
that's a top 5 pick. We're picking that's a lottery pick out there.
Yeah, that's 100% a top 5 pick. Do they trade Russell though? I don't know. They can't really. The Steph's not out there, so
no, because I think you're okay. You tanked this year. You can trade that top 5 pick for another piece, and then you let Clay come back a full year. Steph come back a full year, and then you go Draymond, Russell, Clay, Steph, and then maybe you trade for, who knows what that top 5 pick can maybe land you as far as a trade piece.
They don't have any money though. They can't go get anybody worth,
I mean,
they got essentially 4 max guys.
We'll figure it out. They figure out the money.
They can pay the luxury tax, but they've been paying the luxury, and then they won titles recently. So I guess their owner wouldn't be as willing to pay the luxury tax. He's like, listen.
You kind of got to put butts in those new they opened up the brand new stadium. Maybe the new stadium.
That's true.
Oakland may be cursed. Them leaving Oakland, moving to San Francisco. They're cursed because I think they're over in the new stadium. There's some cursed land. Maybe they put it on some Indian burial grounds.
I think they just the other day they beat Portland. I think it was at home.
At home.
They might be okay. Yeah.
But they're 1-5 on the season. Just bad. They haven't lost 5 games that early and seems like forever.
A long time. Let's talk about some teams that look good. I'll run through a list real quick. Lakers look good. Clippers look good. Suns surprisingly look good.
They didn't look bad.
Didn't look bad. I mean, I feel like everybody we thought. I mean, the Mavericks look good. Spurs again. They're in it. I don't understand how they do it year in year out. They just find a way to be in it in between. Messing everything up. You really think they're gonna be down? They're not. So. They look okay. Houston look a little shaky.
We knew that.
We knew that. We thought they would be good.
I mean, it feels like Harden. It's a Harden and Westbrook type team, and it feels like they're lacking shooting on the outside. They rely heavily on Gordon and PJ Tucker, and they're kind of getting a little bit older. I don't know where else you're gonna get scoring from. Clint Capella is not a reliable scorer. Surprisingly, the Wizards don't look too bad. We thought they were gonna be a dumpster fire, and they're kind of being a little competitive. Isaiah Thomas is really, he's finding maybe a little bit old IT back there. He's finally got the start for them last night.
Listen, I still need that contract. I thought I was going to get. Let me show him I still can hoop.
He still needs some money, but Philly looks good. I'm happy with that. They finally lost last night, so they were the last.
My boy Ben Simmons. That's my boy. I just ordered a Ben Simmons shirt the other day, actually. The jersey's coming next.
Yeah, I'm a little worried because you picked them to win and you already busted with the Warriors. So maybe you'll get the Sixers right. I hope. I don't.
Maybe. Hopefully, I gotta get. I didn't get the Warriors a win. I just thought they'd be competitive, but they're
Yep.
not at all.
You jinxed them. But Joel Embiid is crazy as ever. They got in that big fight with Minnesota. That was a real fight. We don't see that too often. I love it.
It wasn't a real fight, but it's more of a fight than we usually see.
Yeah,
right?
It was a fight, kind of. I mean, Ben Simmons had Cat in a chokehold at the bottom of that pile, which is
what Ben Simmons was doing to Cat is probably the most we've seen in a long time.
I like that, and they called Ben Simmons a peacemaker, and the T-Wolves were very upset.
Well, he did. He held Cat down.
Yeah, it was a peacemaker with the choke. Gave him the nice rear naked choke. Made Cat tap. Cat had to tap out on that one, but. They look good. The Spurs, so I got a little inside reporting. My dad was at the Spurs-Lakers game on Sunday night, and he watched them both, and he said the Lakers are a bad matchup for a team like the Spurs that want to play that, that little mid-range game with LaMarcus and DeRozan. LA is big. He said they look big, they're big, and they could dominate the inside boards, especially with LeBron running the point most of the game, and they got AD and Dwight running that two-man big game. They're a tough match. He said they're going to be a tough matchup for anybody, but I do feel like the Clippers without Paul George have looked really good, and I'm very afraid when Paul George comes back.
Yeah, I watched I didn't tell you, but I went to the Clippers game here in LA. I was in LA or Long Beach this last weekend, so I actually watched the Clippers versus Spurs, and the Clippers starting lineup isn't that impressive, honestly. It's Pat Bev. It's what's the guy the Sixers used to have? I went blank. Shamit, Kawhi, Patrick Peterson, and Zubac. And I'm like, if you look at the on paper, that's like, okay, it's an average team. But then they bring Lou Will and Harrell off the bench, and it's like, man, they're like, this team gets rolling, and they're actually pretty good. And once they get PG, man, they're gonna be real nice. They'll probably take Patterson out and put PG in that starting lineup. So. This team is for real. They look good. Like I said, I watched the Spurs, and Spurs was playing with them. LaMarcus had a horrible game, but they were still in it. So I think props to Coach Pop. And,
DeJounte Murray is definitely a big get back for them. He looks like he's a guy that he looks perfect in that. He's a guy that runs that system so well. It looks like he's a perfect point for them. But there are little overreactions 2 weeks in. Not too many surprises. A couple head shakers. We'll keep our tabs on it. It is early. It's November. We're barely at Christmas. I like to say NBA doesn't start till Christmas Day, but we'll see. So let's move back to football. God,
wait, you want to just stay in hoops real quick?
Oh, you want college hoops tonight?
Let's just get all the hoops out. We got some college hoops out. We got college hoops starting tonight. We got Duke, KU, my boys.
Number 3 and number 4. Number 3 and number 4.
Number 4. And we got number 1 and number 2. We got Michigan State and North Carolina, right?
No, Kentucky.
Sorry.
KU.
Dang.
All the blue bloods, though. Real blue bloods.
Yeah, all the blue bloods. Well, North Carolina's a blue blood, too, though. But all the blue bloods.
Blue bloods, top teams. I think North Carolina's ranked pretty high, too. But it's the first night, so I'm sure teams are going to look nothing like they're going to look like in March. But, it gets you to the TV. No, but it gets you to the TV. Maybe check in on it.
For sure. It's like something exciting. Like, I wish we would do this with football, too. Like, we'd start off with a tournament that was a bunch of big guys. I mean, big teams. And
doesn't really matter. Exciting. So you're saying, like, maybe a college preseason that doesn't super matter?
It's like, hey, let's have Ohio State play Clemson and Bama play, I don't know, give me
Oregon
or something. Yeah. Some cross matches and some big teams play at the beginning of the year
with no punishment, awesome. With no real implications on
no real
a final chance just to get.
If anything, it helps you. Yeah, for sure.
It just shows you you can play with some big dogs. All right, so that's our little hoops thing. I think we got the hoops out. Let's go back to football. Disaster. We got 3 disasters in the NFL. Doesn't it feel like all hands overboard? It's a dumpster fire. Cleveland, the Jets, and Chicago Bears, they all lost again this week, and they all looked atrocious. I mean, the Jets lost to the freaking Dolphins. What? The Dolphins are tanking.
It hurts as much as it hurts me to say this. It's the common denominator, the head coach and quarterback combo.
It feels like it. It feels like it's a head coach quarterback combo for all 3.
Like, could we switch around some head coaches and quarterbacks in those teams? It'd be all right. Like, could Nagy get Baker and they'd be okay? Could maybe Well, no one wants Trubisky.
Nobody wants Trubisky, and nobody wants Trubisky.
No one wants Gates either. Or
nobody
Kitchens,
wants
yeah.
Gase
So
or Kitchens. Nobody wants Gase or Kitchens.
Maybe we'll just put them two together and just let them be a complete disaster by themselves. But obviously, Adam Gates and Sam Darnold aren't working, so maybe we just put Trubisky and Gates together, and Kitchens and Trubisky together, and like maybe that mix it up. But it'll probably still be horrible.
It's really
the best case scenario is definitely Nagy and
Baker. So we say it might be. I don't know. I think it might be Nagy and Darnold if they can block for that man. That man, poor man, is running for his life. But it looks like I do love. It feels like Odell Beckham might choke out Freddie Kitchens at any given moment. I'm just waiting for that, like old Latrell Sprewell. You know how he did that.
Rightfully so, though, right? Rightfully so.
He has 4 red zone targets this year. What? That's crazy. How have you targeted him 4 times in the red zone this year?
I feel like you get down to the red zone. Look, you got we're gonna throw it twice to OBJ. We're gonna give Landry a chance.
Or you throw it at least throw it once to OBJ and maybe you run one with Chubb, catch him off guard. It's not like they're a bad running team. And they've been struggling to score points.
I think every time you get down in the red zone, we give OBJ one shot for sure. No matter what, I'm giving him one shot. One of these downs, he's getting the ball. I think he's that good where you need to be like that.
And it feels like Kitchens is totally over his head. Baker looks like, oh God, I don't know. It feels like it's his attitude on top of everything. He's not composed. He's he gets frazzled very easily, and he's frazzled. I mean, we saw his blow up with the media this week. He's angry. I get it, but sometimes they're gonna ask you these questions. It's part of your job. Just answer the question. Be like, no, I'm not happy. Next question, or give him a Bill Belichick response. We're bad. That simple.
That's exactly what O.J. Simpson told him to do. Did you see that video?
No, I didn't see
that. That was great.
O.J. on Twitter is always great, though.
I saw him. He was in Mahomes costume. He told Baker, hey, give him a little Belichick. He say next question, or I don't want to answer, no comment. He said, come on, give him that. We said, I know you're upset, but
we're on to Denver.
Give him a little of that.
We're on to Denver. Speaking of Belichick, he was like, after the Ravens game, he's like, we didn't do anything good. We were bad. Just on the Baltimore game. So that was funny. I don't know. I think Gase, Kitchens all get fired. I think Matt Nagy's not necessarily the issue there. I think they know that they're done with Trubisky.
And he didn't draft that quarterback, so he's gonna
he's gonna free pass.
I mean, neither did Gates or Kitchens, but
they feel like
Gates is definitely the problem.
Kitchens was hired specifically for Baker, though. So either one of them's got to go, and teams aren't going to give up with their number 1 draft pick. They're much easier to get rid of a guy who's never head coached before.
For sure, it's like we tried you out. We tried to keep it in house. We need to bring it. I don't understand why Cleveland didn't try to go get
because they're Cleveland. That's a simple.
Zach Taylor, or if everyone was trying to go get the whole McVay guys, why not Kyler and Cliff? They're kind of they seem okay. They came 49ers are up that money.
Cliff, not so much. He feels like he's still a little overwhelmed as a head coach, but I mean, it's not a dumpster fire. You're absolutely right. It's it's
not a dumpster fire.
They're working.
Zach Taylor. I mean, the Bengals are bad, but their offense moves the ball. I think Andy Dalton, they're top 10 in passing before they benched him or whatever, or something like that.
Quarterback Andy Dalton.
So I mean, why didn't they just try to go do that?
I don't know.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's the Cleveland, and that's what they do. So I think
it's always the same teams, though, right? It's Cleveland, it's the Jets, it's the Bears. We shouldn't expect anything else.
I don't know. I think Gates needs to be going after a year. So
it's amazing. They were chanting "Fire Gates" after the game. It's amazing how some organizations just can't get it right. Even when they seems like they're doing the right things, it just all turns on its head. Bad.
Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah. Oh well. Let's not give too much time to bad teams.
I know. I think we need it. We can almost settle them for the rest of the season. It's 3 teams we don't need to talk about unless something amazing happens. But we can talk about some college football. Last weekend we were not great on our picks. Georgia, Florida. That was a pretty okay game. Georgia seemed like they dominated most of the game. You were on that. They won by a touchdown, but they were up 2 scores most of the game. Memphis took down SMU. So much for the undefeated Fighting Shane Buechels.
Wait, so I might sound like a dumbass here, but wasn't the line at 6?
It was 6.5. It was 6 in the hook.
6.5, and Memphis only won by 6.
Oh no,
right?
Memphis won by 6. Oh no, Memphis won by 2 touchdowns.
They won by They won at 12?
Yeah, I thought they won like 54-40.
No, it was 54-48.
Oh, they scored a Garbo late.
Yeah, I think so.
Dang. I missed
Bear with
that.
us, people. We're gonna look the score
Looked up so real quick. I turned out. I mean, it shows you I turned it off. Memphis was in control 99% of the game, so I did kind of turn it off. Let's see.
It's okay.
Yep,
54-48.
Yep, it's a push.
Okay, cool. I was like,
push.
yeah, nice. Let's go.
The backdoor push on us late. Yeah, what they scored? They scored on like the last play of the game. I'm sure. Yeah, 2 minutes left. I turned it off. There you go. Push. But Georgia kind of resubmitted themselves back in the top. But we'll see. But coming out tonight, we got the we got the college football playoff coming out. Do we want to go over our top 6? What's it going to be tonight?
Let's do top 6. You want to go first?
Yeah, sure. All right. So I was very torn on this list, but I think we're going to get LSU 1. We're going to go Ohio State 2, Bama 3, Clemson 4, Penn State 5, Georgia 6 is my list. Yeah. I was very torn between Ohio State and Bama because I know they don't care about it, but we have LSU Bama this week, and I could see them wanting to go 1 versus 2. That way the loser of the game doesn't get punished because they kind of want to put both those teams in, and I think they should. I think both those teams are definitely a top 4 team. But Ohio State has looked super good, and Clemson's kind of looked bad. I don't think they could keep Clemson out because Clemson doesn't have a game on their schedule to put them into the top 4, so they gotta leave them in the top 4. But we'll see. Ohio State and Bama were my big flips, but I think LSU's number 1 by far. What about you?
I kind of agree with you here. I get LSU. I see what you're saying. They don't want 1 and 2, but I guess okay. I'll go Ohio State 2, Bama 3, Clemson 4, Georgia
5.
I actually put Georgia 5 and Penn State 6. Like Penn State beat Michigan. I guess who beat Notre Dame.
Penn State's undefeated was my only.
I guess you're right. They're undefeated, but like Georgia beat 2 top 10 teams at the time, or essentially so, or maybe 1. No, they beat 2 top 10s. They beat Notre Dame too. I forgot. Okay, yeah. So I think that weighs more than being undefeated, but we can flip flop either or and I'd be okay with it.
It's all good because all this stuff's gonna play itself out. Like I said, we have LSU Bama this week. The winner of that game is gonna play Georgia in the SEC title game, so that's gonna work itself out. And we have Ohio State, Penn State still, so that's gonna work itself out. So Clemson's sitting pretty, not having to play anybody. So they're basically all they have to do is just win and they're in. Everyone else has a proving game. It seems like.
Yeah, we got Ohio State, Penn State in 2 weeks.
So.
Where's Oregon? Are they 7 here? They on the outside looking in.
They're kind of I feel like they're on the outside looking in, especially with Utah. Maybe struggled a little bit with Washington, but I would. They're gonna play each other, so we'll kind of. It all depends how the games play out.
Gotcha. So that's Oregon's way in, essentially, is beating Utah in the Pac-12 championship.
Yeah, Oregon or Utah. If Utah beats Oregon, that's the way the Pac-12.
But Utah's not. Well, Utah's loss to USC is really bad, though.
It is.
But your loss to Auburn isn't as bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my thing. I think Utah's kind of out of it. I guess great if you beat Oregon, but I think Oregon's got a better chance because that loss to Auburn isn't as bad.
They really need LSU to blow out Bama. If LSU can romp Bama this week, that kind of puts Bama out of it, I think.
Because they haven't beat anybody this year, right?
Yeah, that's right. So that'll push Bama out. And then if LSU if you want LSU to blow out Bama and run the table, and then Ohio State to beat Penn State, that way those, nobody on the outside is hopping in, so you can kind of find yourself with a Pac-12 team back in there. That's how Oregon finds herself in, I think. But we'll see. Like I said, they all play each other out. I think it's the first time in a couple years that we've had like heavyweights at the top, like every heavy. Like usually it's like 2 teams that we know is good. Like last year it was like Bama and Clemson, and everyone else like okay, but they're not at the level. I think this year we got 4 teams or like 5 if you think Georgia. I'm not convinced on Penn State yet, but like that are like legit. Like this is legit. Like this game could go either way. So I think it's awesome. And I think it's hilarious. I mean, it's hilarious. Clemson brings back their starting quarterback, and they're the defending national champions. I think they're by far the weakest team of the bunch at the top there. But
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true. They always could surprise us though.
They
Like,
could.
man,
That's exactly right. That's why
they turn it.
I think it's
They turn
interesting.
it on when it's like the lights come on. Like they're ready to go.
Yeah,
So.
it's super interesting, and I think that plays into it heavy. But let's go into picks. Let's do some picks this week because we've been talking about all these games. Let's start with that LSU Bama game. LSU at Bama. Bama's 6.5-point favorites. I'm going LSU. Where are you going?
6.5. I go Bama.
He's rolling with the Tide at home.
They're going to the LSU's going to that fail room, and it usually fails for people. And I'm going with Bama, man.
Best name for a visitor's locker room, right?
100%. Like we got A&M's got to find a donor with some name like that, and we gonna name the visiting locker room something.
Scrub, yeah. We need somebody with the last name Scrub or something.
Yeah, for sure.
Loser. All right, other game, Penn State, another top 5 team that we like. Penn State at the undefeated Minnesota Gophers. Real big surprise. They're 6.5-point favorites. Do we have any faith in the Gophers, or is Penn State cover easy?
I think Penn State wins, but they don't cover.
Ooh.
Like I said, I'm not convinced on this Penn State team yet. I think they just beat Michigan and been winning, and
they really struggled that set when Jim Harbaugh said Michigan's coming out of that second half. They almost had them. They dropped the ball on 4th down.
Yeah, for sure. So I think Penn State wins, but they don't cover.
I think Penn State covers, but barely. I'm kind of with you. I think they win by a touchdown, and I'm okay with half-point covers any day of the week. But let's go to the NFL now. We got more football. Good games. Some good games this week. Thursday night, the Chargers, big win at home against the Packers, are at the Raiders, who beat the Lions. Both teams 4-4. Looking for that wild card spot in the AFC. Chargers are 1-point favorites. Do you like the Chargers? I like Oakland. I'm going with Chucky in Oakland.
You're going Chucky in Oakland?
Oakland.
I like the Chargers just because this is all fantasy purposes. I need Melvin Gordon to go off again. I need him to do his thing. So I'm going with the Chargers because that would lead me to that way.
To be fair, it makes sense. I mean, the Chargers kind of played like the team we thought they were going to be the whole season last week. You know, dominant on the defensive line, pound the rock, kind of control the whole game. They took away Green Bay's assets on defense, and Aaron Rodgers did nothing. But Oakland kind of showed me a lot. They're good. Like, they're good. Josh Jacobs is a beast, and Derek Carr's throwing the ball well. Darren Waller, what a steal he ended up being, coming back from his issues. And he's
Pete, should I trade for Jacobs?
It depends what you give up. I mean, I think
I'm giving up Kelsey. Should I do it?
Yeah, Kelsey hasn't been super reliable. I don't know because Oakland does throw the ball. Oakland throws the ball in the red zone a lot. Like they throw.
But Jacobs isn't. They just feed the man.
They do.
I need a running back.
But the question
is, I got Bell's my other running back, and the Jets don't feed Bell when they should.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be against it. I definitely think Jacobs is a good man, and Kelsey's. I feel like you could definitely get him for Kelsey because he's been very underproductive for.
I tried to get Chubb, but she wasn't biting. So
taking advantage of.
We gotta do this. We gotta make it. I'm gonna make this trade happen from my girlfriend listens to the pod and she'll talk herself out of it. So okay,
good move. Yeah, make it happen before it comes out. All right, then the Sunday night game, my Vikings at the Cowboys. I should be going to this game, but I'm not. I have other responsibilities. But Dallas 3-point favorite against the Vikings. Oh, I'm going with the Cowboys. I have no faith in my team because I'm a pansy. But what about you?
Well, I'll do it for your team, and I got the Vikings with the spread. I'll give me 3 points because I think I'll need all of it. But yeah.
Ooh, so you don't know if we win the game, but you think it's a field goal. I'm sure Maher's going to kick like a 55-yard field goal.
I think that's what's going to hurt you. It's going to be late. Zeke's going to break off him. Good team, ice the game. It's gonna hurt. You know, one of those like you're out of timeout. Like this is third down. Like you get the ball back after this, and
you know what?
Use all your timeouts. And
you might.
This is like right when.
I might have a little belief though. Maybe we do. Maybe we do it. Dalvin Cook.
Maybe
and then Dan Bailey, the ex-Cowboy, just gives him a nice little.
I like that.
I like that. I like that. Kicks a game winner.
Okay. I like that. I got the Vikings still.
Yeah, I can't do it because I'm a pansy, but I hope we just show up. We kind of let the game in case he get away from us. Dallas didn't look great against the Giants. They closed it out, but I don't know. It's a big game for both teams. Kind of feels like that is a proving ground as far as the pecking order in the NFC. And then the last pick this week, the Seahawks at the undefeated Niners, the last undefeated left. Niners.
Seahawks.
Yep, Niners 6-point favorites. You're going with the Seahawks. I got it. Russell Wilson's the MVP, dude. I know they kind of struggled again. Totally struggled at home with the Buccaneers. Really should have lost that game. Russell Wilson bailed them out after missing the field goal to end the game in overtime. But
only their defense.
Yeah, I'm going with the Seahawks too. Russell Wilson's too good. Touchdowns too much.
Russ and Bus.
MVP of the league. He's the best.
That's taking away too soon. I like my boy Watson. He's out there balling.
All right, I'm not
gonna. Keep it Texans. Okay, yeah, and Lamar. We got, and McCaffrey too. I think we got a nice little race there.
I kind of feel like it's a Watson
for the quarterback to
Wilson
separate
race.
themselves.
I think it's a Watson Wilson
McCaffrey
race.
too.
Nah,
McCaffrey too.
Well, put it this way: McCaffrey didn't do much, and they still win football games. Seattle and Houston are not doing anything. If Watson
it's because of the quarterback position, though. Come on.
I know that's the point. I mean, you're not the most valuable. Kyle Allen's won some games for Carolina without McCaffrey doing anything.
I don't know. We'll be up. We'll watch the rest of the year. We'll see.
I do have a nice little fantasy issue there because Watson and Wilson are both my fantasy quarterbacks in one league, so I have to pick every week on which guy's going to be a stud. So it's a nice problem to have.
Before we go, one more fantasy question.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about getting Marlon Mack and Kelsey for. Well, I'll get Marlon Mack and Kelsey, but I'm just trading away T.Y. Hill and David Johnson and A.J. Green. What do you think about that?
You don't trust T.Y. coming back?
He's out for 3 more weeks almost.
Oh, that's true. It's the playoff. You know, you're in that playoff push in fantasy.
I guess I should tell you this. I got Julian Edelman and Mike Evans too, and Ridley on my team.
Yeah, Ridley's boo-boo, but Mike Evans and Edelman are as solid as can be.
But really, I think Ridley's going to figure it out since Sanu's gone.
Yeah, I don't know. Atlanta dumb. We'll see how Atlanta looks.
Or should I hold on to AJ until he sees?
No, AJ, get rid of AJ. I think that's a good trade bait. That's good trade bait right there because he may never come back. Oh, yeah. And,
okay. I'm gonna do
little
this
news we forgot to mention also. Cam Newton put on the IR today. Done for the season.
That's that.
Kyle Allen is the guy. Cam Newton done in Carolina, I think.
Fire off with real quick. Should the Eagles sign AB? Because I need to know. I'd like to get that sneaky add-on fantasy.
I don't think the NFL's gonna let him play.
Okay. All right.
That's good. All right. I think that's gonna do it for this week. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe.